So the point of this video is to try to demonstrate really how we can use AI to help us while we're learning math without kind of infringing on that part that lends itself towards cheating in the class, right? So a lot of people ask, how much help can I get? How much is cheating? Things like that. And hopefully this video is going to describe that for you. So I have two open. I have ChatGPT. I have Google Gemini. Both have free versions that you can use. And really, I just want to introduce you, to show you what kind of questions you can ask, and really what ChatGPT and these AI services can do. So I'm going to use, let's say, I'll use some topics from pre-calculus. So let's say I'm in a pre-calculus 2 class covering trigonometry, and I don't really understand the unit circle. Right? We could even just start there. Right? I don't really understand the unit circle. I have a problem to solve, evaluate cosine of 7 pi over 2, and I don't even know where to begin, right? Be as honest as you can, give it as much information as you can. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay, it's totally fair. The unit circle can be confusing. What is the unit circle? A circle is 2 pi radians, like 360 degrees. Maybe, so what you can see here, right, is it's going to give you some explanations, and maybe, you're not entirely sure, right? Like maybe you're reading this, you say 2 radians is 2 pi radians, like 360 degrees, and maybe you read something here and you're just like, oh, that triggered something. That's another thing, I don't get why there's 2 pi radians in 360 degrees. Is this something I just need to memorize? Can you explain it to me like I'm 10? Right? Something like that. No fancy math yet. So imagine a piece of pizza, some string, a piece of pizza, right? So it's going to give me some examples, and maybe I'm reading this and I realize, oh, could you provide some visual aids with your explanation? Right? And it's going to do it for you, right? Hopefully it comes up with something interesting. It maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Let's see what we get. A lot of people are creating images, so this might take a bit. That's okay. So, as this is going, right, it gives you the TLDR, right? It gives you 1 radian is wrapping a radius length arc on a circle. Probably something that explained a little bit higher here. 2 pi is about 6.28 radians to go all the way around the circle, and that's why there's this thing, right? You can ask it whatever questions that you want, okay? And the way that I would suggest using AI is in this particular way, right? Have it break down certain things for you, ask for alternate explanations for things, anything of that nature. And maybe while ChatGPT is going, I'll go over to Gemini, right? And yeah, just use it. So let's say there's another one that says, maybe we'll bounce over to a calculus class and say, I just learned about related rates, but I can't think of any real world applications for it. Can you give me some that aren't just academic, right? Like you just learned about related rates, you're trying to get a feel for it, right? And it's going to give you some fluid dynamics and engineering, navigation and movement, tracking objects, medicine and biology, econ, business, environmental science, construction, architecture. And maybe you want to learn more, right? It's giving me a link to some videos. Maybe you want to learn a little bit about architecture. So I'm interested in architecture. Could you elaborate a bit more there? Right, etc. And it's going to be able to do all these things for you. It's going to give you these explanations. So you can use AI in this way to really basically be a personal tutor for you while you're going through the homework, while you're going through the videos, right? I do want you to feel free to ask questions in the discussion. And maybe you'll ask stuff to ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever you decide to use, and it doesn't fully answer your questions. And that's a good time to pop it in the discussion. Or maybe you had a really good question, you got it answered. You could post that question in the discussion, and you can actually answer your own question in a nice, concise manner. If you ask and answer your own question, it only counts as one bit of credits for the Q&A, but you can definitely do that as long as you're not gaming the system. That's fine with me, right? And so there you go. Whole bunch of different things you could ask for. You could ask for some explanations and problems, etc. And kind of on that note, maybe we'll bounce around to another calculus example. So let's say I was assigned, or I have a calculus 1 problem that asks me to take the derivative of y is equal to sine of the natural log of x. Could you walk me through how to go about solving this without just giving me the answer? Right? I really want to understand the process. Okay. So let's do that. Right? The chain rule, identify the layers of the function, the chain rule formula, right? All the things you would need. What is the inner part? What is f of u, the outer part? Once you identify, right? It's going to give you some guidelines. So like I said, you can use these AI softwares to really give you advice, to give you guidance and things like that. But what you should not do is just type in solve this problem for me and look at ChatGPT steps or Gemini steps. And the reason is because if I say solve the equation for me, right? If I just write this, it's going to just kind of, plot things in, and you're going to get an answer, and odds are you're just going to copy this down, or maybe you're going to try and copy some of this process that maybe is or isn't something that I'm trying to teach you in the class, or is something that maybe your textbook shows you or doesn't show you. And you may end up confusing yourself, but worst off, you may just copy down some steps that leads you to an answer that may or may not be correct. And as good as AI is, especially the higher up in math you go, I have noticed myself that it doesn't always give me the correct answers for the problems that I'm working on. So, if you just put this in here and I, approach you about it and I say, hey, like, I saw your work, I don't really understand this, could you explain it to me? If you can't explain it to me, then AI has failed you, and you're kind of failing yourself, right? The purpose of the class in theory, and the purpose of using this is to help you better understand this stuff. And the one thing that doesn't really fly with me is when you say, oh, I put it into ChatGPT, or I watched a YouTube video and I copied down the steps or something like that. That in and of itself is cheating. If all you do is punch in the problem and you just copy down the steps, that's cheating. But if you're using it in a way like above, where it's guiding you and you're understanding and you're learning this, and if I were to ask you about it afterwards and you're like, oh yeah, I got this, like I'm getting the hang of it, etc., then that's not cheating. That's fine with me because you're actually learning something, right? And yeah, so that's just, this is what I would do. ChatGPT is still processing the image, probably because I'm not paying for their services. But I just wanted to give you a flavor of how you could use ChatGPT and Gemini to kind of help you. In what sorts of questions you could ask it for. You can ask it to explain things to you like you're 10, like you're 15. Ask it to explain it to you as if you've never taken pre-calculus before, whatever it is. And it usually does a very good job of helping you. I myself, right, even when I'm teaching, sometimes I teach a topic and I'll write something down that says, I'm teaching exact ODEs and I don't really understand where they came from, or where they come from, how might I, or rather, what's the intuition? What is the intuition behind, solving exact ODEs, right? And this may be a topic that not a lot of you understand. This is from my differential equations class, but I can ask this question and it's going to give me some intuitions that hopefully I understand. And if this stuff is too advanced, I could say, again, could you give me an easier intuition, like something, a 15-year-old or a 15-year-old who's taken Calc 1 might understand, right? And maybe it can do it, maybe it can't, but you can just keep feeding it questions and really trying to get the AI to kind of help you, right, in your understanding. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully that was informative and you kind of understand a little bit better the nuances between using AI to guide you and where it kind of falls into the cheating category. So I highly recommend that you all use it in some way, shape, or form to help you in your journey. But again, don't forget that you have the discussions, you have the office hours, you have my email, a whole bunch of things that can help get you the help that you need. Okay, watch this video, watch it twice, and then when you're ready, continue tackling the material in the class.